What's going on, everybody? In today's video I wanted to show you guys how to gain access to the AV capture and not AV capture, AVFoundation, and use the camera to be able to take pictures and use the camera in the app. You can use it to scan barcodes or take pictures or whatnot. So here's a little demo of what we'll be creating today. This is simulated off of my iPhone. So what we'll be able to do, we'll have this camera on the screen. You can snap a photo. Once you snap the photo, it'll pop up on the bottom right. If you click on it, it goes and takes you to that photo that you took. You can just go back and take another one, and it'll just replace that photo, and so on and so forth. Pretty simple layout, pretty simple UI, just cool functionality to be able to learn how to do it and how to do it and programmatically using Swift. So we'll go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing we'll want to do is go ahead and open up Xcode and start a new project. In the project, it's going to be a single app. We'll just call it let's call it AV Foundation test. So we'll do that, save it to desktop, and we'll be good to go. Oh, I already have one there, so I'll save the documents. That works. So go ahead and expand everything. First things first, we're going to want to go ahead and set up the project to be used programmatically. So I'll do that really quick. I did this a couple times in my videos, so I don't want to repeat myself over and over. So if you don't know how to do it, just follow these steps really quick. If you do know how to do it, go ahead and skip forward. So you just delete the storyboard. So we'll move to trash. We'll go to the info plist, do these drop downs for the application scene manifest, and we'll delete storyboard name. Next, we'll go to the target. We'll go to build settings. If you just go to filter, type in main, you can remove the reference right there. And I think there's one more in rules. I could be wrong. Maybe phases. I always forget. Nope, looks like we're good to go. And then lastly, we'll set up our scene delegate. So right here, we can call this window scene. And then we'll say the window is equal to a UI window, the frame of window scene dot coordinates dot bounds. This is the newer way to do it. If you do UI screen dot main dot bounds, you're going to get a deprecation warning saying that's not going to be accessible in the future. So try to avoid that. So let's say window scene, or sorry, window dot window scene is equal to our new window scene. Window dot root view controller will be our view controller, and then lastly we'll say window dot make key invisible, and we should be good to go. Let's go ahead and throw up a red background to show our new app on the iPhone 15 Pro. Let's go ahead and run it. Also, just a disclaimer, to be able to test this properly, you're going to need a physical device. It's not going to work on a simulator. So I do recommend that you have your phone ready to go to test it out. For right now, this portion, just testing if the app is going to run properly, we can go ahead and run it on the simulator. So once we get our red background, we'll go ahead and move on. There it is, perfect. All right, so we got that set up. Now let's go ahead and set up the foundation of what we're gonna need to build out this app. So first things first, let's go ahead and import AV Foundation. So after we imported the foundation, what we're gonna need is our capture session. So we'll say var capture session is gonna be of type AV capture session, and then we'll say var image output is equal to, or no, sorry, not equal to, type AV capture photo output, and then var camera preview layer, and then we'll set that to a AV capture video preview layer. Perfect. See me looking over to the left, that is where I have my project at that I am building off of. I don't have everything memorized. I don't think a lot of people memorize everything about their project, so I am referencing a project I already built. So let's go ahead and build out some UI now. So we're going to need our preview view which is, if I pull up, do I still have this thing running? That's not it. No, I don't. Let's pull it up really quick. If you don't know, to be able to show your iPhone on your Mac, if you open up QuickTime, let's go to File, New Movie Recording, hit this little drop down, and then you're going to choose your iPhone that pops up once it's plugged in, and you'll be able to view everything on here. So the preview view that we're going to create is going to be this portion of the phone right here that shows the camera. So let's go ahead and build that out really quick. So it's going to be really simple, just a view. So we'll say let preview view of type UI view equal to our closure. If I could type, there we go. View equal UI view, and we'll return this view. So this view is going to have two properties. So we'll say view.background color is clear, and view.translates to this mouthful right here to false. Next up, we're going to have a bottom view that's going to hold our little camera button down here, and then also give us this little black spacer down here just to hold in that button, so we don't have just a floating button. If you want to do it that way, more power to you, go ahead and do that, but we'll go ahead and create this bottom view really quick. It's literally going to be the same, except the color is going to be different, so we can just copy this and then rename it bottom view. So bottom view, perfect. The color that I used was this one right here. So just do 25s across the board with the alpha of 65, and you should be good to go to see that view. Got that up. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to create our button. So the next thing we're going to create is the circle button that we have right there. So we'll say lazy var capture button is a type UI button and equal to closure, same thing. Button is going to be of type a custom button. We're going to throw an image on there, and let's return our button. So we're going to set some properties to the button. I'm going to go ahead and copy those over just so you guys don't have to see me typing everything out. So throw those properties in there. For this circle right here, I could post that image, or you can just grab basically a little circle image off of Google or whatnot, and use that in your project just to mimic what we're making today. And then for this take picture function, we'll get to that. So for now, I'm just going to comment that out so we get rid of that warning. And the last thing we're going to want to do is grab our, or we can create our image view down here. So we'll say lazy var image view. So type UI image view. Image view. Oh, if I could spell today. Is equal to image. Let's call it view. UI image view, and we'll return it. All right. So for this, we're going to set a couple properties. Say view.layer .corner radius. We're going to set that to 5. Give it a little curve. And then we're going to say view.content mode is going to be equal to scale aspect fill. View.clips to bounds is true. View.is hidden, we're going to hide it, true, because when we first take the picture, you see down here, right here, it's not there until we take a picture. So we don't want to show just an empty square that's blue or whatever. We can just hide it so we can show it when we actually take the picture. So is hidden is true, and then view dot translates equals false. So we can throw some constraints on it. I think that's it for our UI. So we have those set up. So the next thing we can do is go ahead and set up our actual capture session so that we can start using the camera. So we can say private func configure capture session. It's a nice explanation or wording for our function. Tells us exactly what we're going to do. We're going to configure this capture session. So let's go ahead and assign our capture session that we created. So capture session, session is equal to a AV capture session. So we got that set up. Next up, we're going to set the presets. So capture session that set session presets is equal to, I did 1920 by 1080 just so that it shows a little clearer. When I was taking pictures with it at a lower resolution, it was kind of fuzzy. So up to you what you want to choose. This is what I went for. We're going to gain access to the camera. So we'll say gar let camera equal AV capture device dot default. Dot default for dot video, and else we'll just return if we can't get that for some reason. So now we have access to that. So now we can do catch block. So we're gonna try to do something. So we'll say let input equal try to get the AV capture device input right here, and for the device is going to be our camera we just created above. So we'll say image output. Now the image output that we created at the top of the file is going to be equal to an AV capture photo output. And now we're going to set up the capture session with the input and the output that we were creating. So we'll say if let output equal the image output that we have right there, and we'll say if the capture session that can add input, which is the input we have up top, and the capture session that can add output, the output that we have, we will go ahead and assign those or set those values. So we'll say capture session that add input, and we'll say input, and we'll say capture session that add output, and give it our output. Simple enough. Alright, so next up we're gonna go ahead and throw our catch so we can stop getting yelled at by Xcode. So catch, and then we can just print let's do this. There was an issue. So super duper explanatory. And what did I miss? Boom boom boom. Missing something. If let oh, yep, that's why right there. So let's take this out. Got that, and right here is where we gotta put it. My bad. Should be good there. And there we go. Perfect. Alright, so I don't like this. A little picky there. Alright, perfect. So now let's go ahead and set up our preview layer. If you want to format your code, quick command is Command A, highlight everything, and then Control I. It will indent all your code to make it look nice and pretty. Okay. Next up, we'll say func. Or we can do private func. Set up preview layer, and inside of here we're just going to set up our preview layer. So camera preview layer is equal to AV capture video preview layer. Not that one with this session. There we go. And we're gonna set our capture session. And then next we'll say camera preview layer. Sorry, camera preview layer dot video gravity is equal to resize aspect fill so that it fills up the whole screen where we put it. Then lastly, we'll say our preview view that we created dot layer dot add sub layer, and you guessed it, we're gonna add our camera preview layer. Perfect. So that should be it to get the camera preview layer set up. And the last thing we got to do to be able to get our UI on the screen is set all of our constraints. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll say configure UI, and let's go ahead and get all of our constraints in there. So I'll set up the first couple, and then I'll just paste the rest in there. You guys can copy it on the screen. So we'll say view.add subview, and we're going to add our bottom view first. So, and it's layout constraints that activate, and it takes in an array of constraints. So you say bottom view dot bottom anchor dot constraint equal to the views dot Oh, not top, bottom. And then we'll do the same for the left and the right. And then we will give it a height. So, and say view.height and 0.15. So we got our bottom view set up, and I'll go ahead and throw in the rest of them right here. So let's look at them. So right here, we're setting up a bottom view like we just did, and then we're adding to the bottom view our capture button, which is going to be a little circle button. We're going to go ahead and add our image view to the bottom view, which is going to be this image view showing right here in the bottom right. And then we have our preview view, which is the entire camera right there, set up right here. So we got that going. So that's good. So let's go ahead and try to run and see if it actually works, which I'll tell you right now, we're not gonna see anything, but we can run it, see if we got any errors. And no errors, just a black screen. Perfect. That's all we need for right now. Alright, so next up, what we're gonna want to do is in our view to load, we can call our configure UI to get our UI put on the screen. Now if we go into our capture session, where we configure the capture session, inside of configure capture session, we're going to want to call right underneath where we added our output, we're going to add call setup preview layer right here, and then we'll say dispatch queue. You want to do this on the background thread, global QoS, and we'll say user initiated .async, not after, just async. We'll say self capture session start running. So we start our capture session, and then the next one we'll want to do is dispatch queue main.async right here, and we'll say self.camera preview layer .frame is equal to self.preview bounds. So that will allow our camera to show up on screen, and that should be good. Oh no, let's go back down here to our configure UI, and we're going to go ahead and call our configure capture session at the top. Configure capture session right there. I'm gonna go ahead and run this on my phone, and let's see what we get on here. So what do we get? Looks like we get nothing. Oh, well, the reason is it's gonna crash because we didn't go to the info P list, and we have to add in the permissions to access the user's camera. So let's go ahead and do that. So we go to info, close all of that, we'll add a new one. This one is called privacy dash camera usage description, and then just go ahead and write in the description right here, I need your camera. Don't ever use that in a real app, just for us, right? Alright, so let's go ahead and run it one more time and see what we get. We should see something on the screen. And there we go. It's your camera. Okay, and boom, there we go. Got our camera showing. Perfect. Okay, so now that we got the screen or the camera showing up, we can go ahead and implement our button and also the show the camera image that we've taken and display the next screen to pass that data over. So we'll go ahead and jump into that now. Alright, so the next thing we're going to want to do, let's see what order we want to go in. I think we can go ahead and get this take picture function created right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll go ahead and put it right here. So it's going to be at Objective-C function take picture. Oops. And I believe that's how I spelled it up here. Yep, so we're good there. Error should go away. Perfect. All right, so what we're gonna want to do is let we can call this settings to AV, what is it, capture photo settings, capture photo settings, and format. Let's take an AV video codec key, and value will be AV video codec type dot JPEG. Alright, so those are our settings. And then we'll say image output dot capture photo with settings, the settings that we just created, and the delegate will be self. And we're gonna get a warning there because we are not conformed to the delegate method yet, or to the delegate yet. So we'll go ahead and do that in a second. And then every time we tap this button, we want the image view that we created that is hidden equals false, so that we can see the image that we've taken. So let's go ahead up here and implement what was it, not UI, AV capture device, not device, geez, AV capture photo capture delegate, that's what it is. Alright, so we'll get a little warning go away right there, and we are good. So the next function that we want to implement is going to be a delegate method. It is called did finish capture for, right there. So what we want to do is get the image data that we have that the camera took, so we can grab that picture. So we'll say guard the image data equal the photo dot file. Did I grab the right one? No, I didn't get the right delegate method. My bad. Did finish photo. Where's photo? Photo. Did finish processing. There it is. This one. Okay. Guard let image data equal photo dot file or data representation, and else we'll go ahead and return. So let image equal UI image, and we'll do it from data, and that's from our image data. Then lastly, we will assign the image view image to the image we have right here. So this function is going to allow us to assign the image that we got to our image view. So we got that set up. Let's go ahead and get this circle implemented. Like I said, you can grab any image you want. I'm gonna go ahead and get this image that I have right there and add it to my project. So throw that in there, and we'll just call it circle. Perfect. So we got the image there. So now we can go ahead, and I think if we run right now, we should be able to see that image pop up. So let's go ahead and run it. Let's open up QuickTime, not this, QuickTime. And there it is. If we tap on this, we should be taking pictures, and we are. If you see the picture changing at the bottom right, it's updating every time we take a picture. But when we tap on the image, it's not taking us to our next controller, so we can view it, and that's what we're going to go ahead and implement right now. So the next thing we want to do is create a new file, and this can be a Cocoa Touch class. We'll just call this image view controller. Excuse me, I got a cough. Go ahead and delete all this boilerplate stuff. Get the format, and we are good to go. All right. So first thing we want to do, this controller is going to be pretty simple. We're going to have a variable up here. So we'll say let, we call this just image. It's going to be of type UI image. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just grab this image view, and so we can display the image on the screen. So I'll copy that from other project, throw it in here. So we're just making it lazy so that we can access the image data that we have right here. And then we'll go ahead and initialize this so that we can load the screen with the image that we're going to pass in. So we'll say init image, and then we have to do super.init, and we just pass a nil for each of these. Oops. And then it's going to pop up with the required initializer, which I just let that do it so I can hit the fix it button. And image, oh, that's the naming convention error, so I'll just change this to data, and we'll change this to data, and this to data, and there we go. We should be good. Perfect. And then last things we want to do is in view did load, we're going to say view.add subview, our image view, and then we're going to set the image view's frame to the entire screen. So we'll say image view.frame is equal to view.bounds. Alright, so we got the image view's frame set to the view's bounds so it can take the full screen. So let's go ahead back to our view controller, and we're going to implement the tap gesture that is going to allow us to pass over the image data so that we can display it on the next screen. To do that, it's not really hard, it's pretty simple. We're going to go ahead into the image view, and we'll say this image view dot is user interaction enabled, and we'll set that to true. Oops. And then the next thing we're going to want to do is create a gesture. So we'll say let gesture equal UI tap gesture recognizer. Oops, not that one. With the target will be self, and then the selector will be go to view image. Sure. And we'll create this function right down here. Say at objective C function, boom, and that should be good to go. Last thing we want to do is say view.add gesture recognizer, and we're going to add our gesture that we just created. And in this gesture, this is where we make the screen transfer over the data, or send the data over so that we can view it. We're just going to say excuse me, guard let image data equal image view that we have dot image else return. That's just making sure that we actually have an image to pass over. And then we're going to say let image view controller equal image view controller, and we're going to use that initializer that we created, and we're going to pass in our image data, and then we're going to say self.navigation controller.push to view controller image view controller. Now if you run this, it's not going to work, it's not going to push yet because we are not embedded in a navigation controller. The simple way to do that is go over to your scene delegate, and we're going to embed ourselves here into a UI navigation controller with the root view controller of our view controller. Now if we run this, we should be good to go. And it loaded, perfect. So we'll go ahead and take a picture of our nice code there. Let's see if it works. Alright, so our screen, or our image popped up. Tap on the image, and there you go. It goes ahead and it navigates over or pushes over to the next view controller. If we hit the back button, go back, take another picture, do the same thing, and we can see our image. That's it for this video. Hope y'all liked it. Hope you learned something. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and shoot them down below. Other than that, thank you for watching this video, and again, I hope that helped out. Peace.